Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for, I suppose you could say My Hero Academia, chapter 256, and, okay, yeah, so let's talk about this. Look, before I even get into the actual review, I have to ask, was Shonen Jump trolling us? Cause I could have sworn they said they were going on break until the new year, and I just kind of assumed that the One Piece got released early because, it's Oda, but eventually morbid curiosity took over enough for me to look into it and find out that this chapter was released, translated as well, like 2 days ago. So, is this just like a translation getting. Is this like a thing of it getting released early kind of situation or what? I know that with a lot of these translation sites that they're obviously operating illegally and they're doing it at a much earlier pace than obviously like Shonen Jump themselves would release it. But still, it's one of those things where I'm like, just in order to get a hold of these raw scans, how is this? How are they getting hold of like just the raw scans alone this early? It's like you'd think, okay, obviously if they were to get a hold of raw scans, you'd think it probably, even if they were to get a hold of raw scans early, you'd think it wouldn't be until January 1st at the latest. But it's like, yeah, I've got no idea how the hell this. I got no idea how the hell this happened. How the hell this happened? Honestly, like it's kind of baffling to me, but whatever. Um, like, and and honestly, I will say though, like pretty much, I will say though, a good reason as to why I'm giving you guys this one over like over like over like actually delivering it over the weekend is because we're delivering it in the next year is because barring a few minor grammatical errors, this particular chapter actually was one which was much better translated than the last one, which again is the only reason I'm reviewing it now. I guess I guess you could say I'm just as much in the wrong for doing this, but if it's going to be available, I may as well review it. But yeah, just this whole thing with just this whole thing with just this whole thing is kind of confusing the shit out of me. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry I had to go on that rant, guys. But moving on from that, though, this chapter was a fairly simple one, just catching up with all the characters and how much they've improved through their internships. But like most cases of scenarios like this, Horikoshi knew just who to focus on with the interactions, like how we got the usual sweet dorky interaction between Izuku and Deku, which yeah, I don't care what you say, those like the reason as to why I like those two as a couple, which they are going to be according to Horikoshi, is that they're just two dorks in love. It's just it's dork love, and it's dork love, and I appreciate that because hey, I'm a dork too. So yeah, and a hopeless romantic. So there's that as well. I'm a dork and a hopeless romantic, so that's why I kind of appreciate it. Um, but the other major interaction we got that really got to me and really kind of hit me a little bit really kind of hit me in the feels a bit was the moment of Mina showing her acid man technique, her showing off her acid man technique, and how she basically walked up to Kirishima and said she basically took inspiration from his unbreakable technique, which again, simple conversation, but just in the way it's shown and portrayed, it just shows how much Mina and Kirishima have actually been pushing each other to pretty much improve, and how their bond has grown because of it. Like everything that the Mina and Kirishima has been done, they've been doing it in order to push each other, in order to grow stronger, and they have because of that. Um, Now, getting back to the internship showcase, though, I really like how through Class 1A, like fighting all these robots, we basically get a sense for the specific for the specific lessons they learned, which each kind of group learned, which also led to some pretty epic team up moments. For instance, it's no surprise that the Mineta has always been my least favorite character, but I don't know. Every time I see moments of him teaming up with Sero, he always gets me back on board. Like he always manages to get me back on board with him as a character. But like I said, it seems like every time he's with Seto, I'm for him. Like it always works. Every time he's alone though, that's where I do that's where I do check out a little bit with Mineta. But yeah, just put him in. Just put him with Sero. I'm all good with that because yeah, they just really they have such a really like it's funny, it's really goofy, but still a very unique dynamic. Honestly, like Sero's tape and Mineta's sticky balls. It's weird, but as we see, it's a combo that works. um, and one surprisingly epic moment for me, just in how much I wanted to happen, and didn't know if it would happen, but glad it did, was how Aoyama and Toru seeing Aoyama and Toru worked off each other in this chapter, because I always inwardly said that if Toru could really develop her abilities, she and Aoyama could make a really badass combo, seeing how invisibility is just another manipulation of light, just another like form of manipulation of light, kind of just like how Aoyama actually like has his laser beam. So basically, to see Toru like taking advantage of the refraction aspect of her quirk in order to actually work with Aoyama and actually kind of and reflect and maneuver his laser beam, it just got me really excited, and I was really kind of just jumping. It's weird to say, I was literally giddy at seeing Toru like actually kind of like use her quirk in order to redirect Aoyama's laser, and if this is also one of those things where if just on a teamwork level this is what Toru can do with her quirk, then I'm really excited to see just what she can do, what else Toru can do like solo, like what other kinds of things can she do with her kind of with her reflect with her invisibility, with these developments to her invisibility quirk. Like I can kind of see this being a thing where she could put up like entire barriers or entire like invisible barriers kind of thing. So yeah, it's the possibilities right now definitely for Toru are kind of endless, I'd say. And yeah, I think she has the most potential. And yeah, seeing All Might's inner thoughts of how far Izuku has come is just a well-deserved, proud Papa moment in its purest form, because everything Izuku has done has all led him to this moment where, through his journey, he's not only learned how to develop one for all on his own and carve out his own hero's path, but he's also just developed as a person and formed his own idea of what being a symbol of peace should be, which is also in its own way reassurance that whatever lies ahead, Izuku won't necessarily repeat the same mistakes as All Might, which trust me, if Izuku would never have learned it in order to develop on his own and just always followed All Might, it makes you realize that if he had done that, he never would have developed this way. He would have ended up repeating a lot of the same mistakes All Might did. But because Izuku eventually did learn in order to develop on his own and stop relying on All Might, he has developed a lot in this way. He's learned to not necessarily repeat the same mistakes. Having said that, the tone of this moment is also it gives off a dual tone of both hopeful yet somber, in the sense where it shows us that the future on the surface looks bright, but at the same time, even if on the surface it looks bright, underneath you can't help but feel something is going to go wrong, so wrong, and it's going to just flip everything on its head. and this is Horikoshi, so we know he's gonna fucking do it. But yeah, um, now other major thing with this chapter is Aries' horn is tingling, and I think it's grown. I think it's grown back to full form at this point, if it didn't already. So whatever happens from this point on, it's pretty obvious her powers are gonna go critical again. So Aizawa needs to find a way to help her control it, and fast, because soon it'll be too much for even him to handle if it isn't already. Um, and yeah, the chapter ends with All Might preparing to divulge more about All for One. And honestly, even after everything that was revealed and everything that's happened so far, I'm already thinking like how much more is there to tell? I mean, obviously the full story hasn't been told yet, just based off the fact that the little brother could only show Izuku a small piece of the past. But now it becomes a question of just how much further does this rabbit hole go when it comes to learning of how much more of All for One's influence on Hero Society has been kept secret, and whatever's left to tell, like we're basically headed into dark places. Like we're headed into the belly of the beast, basically. And yeah, so just strap in. I think we're in for a rough ride now. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. Enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and let's do Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.